continue our coverage now of the election coming up tomorrow with Channel 4 political analyst Clancy DuBos. And first of all, let's talk about the debate. Excuse me, the debate last night. Do you think there was any winner?
No clear winner. I think probably Donatus King distinguished himself because he's not as known as other candidates, and he did a good job. He hit on some issues very well. As a veteran civil rights attorney, he's accustomed to standing on his feet and making a pitch and making his case, and I think he stated his case very well. But I don't think in a situation like this, especially the last debate, 2 days before the election, the incumbent is probably feeling comfortably ahead. His role there was just to not mess up. The others needed to score a knockout punch. Nobody scored a knockout punch, and when it's a draw, the incumbent kind of comes out ahead.
And I've talked to both Michael Bagneris and Mayor Landrieu. They both are feeling they can take this on the first ballot. Do you think one candidate will?
Well, obviously, they can't both win. One thing
Clearly.
about politics, it is truly a zero-sum game. Bagneris started the race as the underdog. I think he goes into tomorrow as the underdog. It really depends on turnout. We're going to have a nice day, as we just saw in the weather forecast, so there's no excuse for people not voting.
Right.
And it always comes down to which candidate gets his or her voters to the polls, and that's what the campaigns are all about right now. Starting yesterday, they're shifting from messaging to getting out to vote.
And if there is a runoff, it changes the whole ball game.
Oh, every election is a unique event, even between a primary and a runoff. If there is a runoff, the two candidates in the runoff both start out with 0 votes on Sunday morning.
And now in the two big council at large races, what do you see in those?
Well, I think Stacey Head probably has a comfortable lead. That's no surprise. Eugene Green, well-known, but not nearly as well-known as Head. And the polls consistently show that most people, in spite of what was all said in the mayor's race, most voters feel the city's on the right track and headed in the right direction. When that happens, that typically favors incumbents. Head, as the incumbent, has a big advantage there. Plus, she had a much bigger war chest.
Yeah.
While there's technically no incumbent in the Division 1 at-large race, Cynthia Hedge-Morrell kind of runs as an incumbent because she is the senior member of the council. She's the only member of this council who was serving during Katrina. She came on like 4 or 5 months before the storm. But she has that institutional knowledge, and she has the aura, as it were, the patina of incumbency because of her seniority on the council. And she's the favorite to run first. Whether she can win in the first, I think that's the big question right now. There's very much a possibility of a runoff there. Not sure which one of her two opponents, because they're kind of neck and neck vying for second place.
And if you've seen in the debates, I'm sure you have with them, it's been pretty tough.
Oh yeah, look, that's a race. The sheriff's race is the toughest race out there in terms of what they're saying about each other. But yeah,
let's go ahead and
that one's equally tough.
Let's look at the sheriff's race. That right now seems to be anybody's guess. Would you agree?
I think most people would call that a dilemma. The definition of a dilemma is facing choices, all of which are equally unpleasant. I think most voters look at it that way, because the jail is in terrible shape. There's no denying that. We had a federal judge saying this is deplorable, it's an embarrassment to the city. So the incumbent has to run and defend his record there. His main challenger is the guy who created the mess in the eyes of many people. So that makes it a difficult choice. The third candidate, Ira Thomas, has struggled to get his name out there and his record, and he's kind of struggled to prove that he's up to the task. So you got 3 main candidates out there.
And Quentin Brown.
And Quentin Brown. And I think there's very likely going to be a runoff there between Gusman and Fody. Gusman will probably run first.
Yes or no, any big surprises on election night?
Well, there are always some surprises, but if I knew what they were, they wouldn't be surprises.
I thought you'd be our political analyst and just jump on it right there.
That's as far as I'm going to jump on that one.
All right, Clancy, thank you very much. We'll see you election night. Clancy will be a part of our election coverage tomorrow night. Remember, the polls open at 7 tomorrow morning. They stay open till 8 tomorrow night. And that's when Channel 4's coverage will begin at 8 o'clock. We'll have live reports from the candidates' headquarters. And, of course, Clancy's expert analysis. And Greg Rigamer will be here, too, our demographer. Remember, you can get election results on the go by going to WWL-TV.com. We have a mobile app as well as our website.